preparation for Ole Miss this Saturday. Got a few things cleaned up from the game last Saturday. Really did that on Sunday night, and they got to jump on the game plan for these guys coming up. So, really took some of the good things we've done and building on those and working to continue to improve that. And some things showed up that we've got to continue to work on and stress. And went out on Sunday and worked on a lot of those from a mental standpoint, and today from a physical standpoint. So it's always good to be back out there. And, good to get on this game plan and get ready for a good atmosphere on Saturday night with two good football teams. So two evenly matched teams when you look at it across the board statistically. So a chance to go in there and play a 4-quarter game and go out there and enjoy what college football is about. And so this 3 weeks in a row we've had a different venue to go play in, and really all three venues are places that are outstanding places to go play. So looking forward to it. The team's excited, as am I. So with that, any questions?
Do you feel like you got more consistent play from your offensive line Saturday? There was no sacks, no quarterback hurries, that type of thing?
Yeah, they did. We were consistent across the board, which should have been expected. We had a plan set for those guys to be able to go out and execute and get better. So I thought we did that. We made some changes in the grouping up front, and thought they went out and played well together.
We talk a lot about the Ole Miss offense, but what have you seen out of their defense? Been playing pretty well.
Yeah, they have 2-game sample size, really same as us. We've got a new D coordinator there, who obviously have some familiarity with, and but it's nothing he's done in the past. I mean, he's put a defense together that fits them and their personality and their personnel and complements the entire team. So they do a good job of being aggressive up front. I think they're 11th in the country, and will have it great creating negative plays with the guys up front. And they'll mix up the coverages and try to vary the coverages on the back end to try to confuse the quarterback and receivers in the passing game, and then always trying to get extra hat down in the box when they can. So Pete's done a good job of putting the defense together in the first 2 games, showing really good improvement.
Obviously, you know Pete and you know Lane as well. Does that help, hurt, like kind of having at least some working knowledge, having worked with them to?
And that would help. Worked with them a long time ago. Really no factor impact on the game.
Coach Key, flipping the script a little bit on the earlier question, your defensive line, we have some tackles for loss this week, I think total 4, but no sacks. And I wonder if there's a specific scheme change involved there, if that's about people or what you can do to pep that up a little bit.
Yeah, well, I could give you the game plan right now and let you know everything we're going to do. And I don't think that would help anybody, though. So, but no, we're looking to obviously affect the quarterback and get back there and get sacks when the time comes. But the biggest thing is to be able to create pressure and affect that quarterback and affect the running back in the run game with negative plays. So we're working on that, and it's something we're stressing and working on.
Brent. Coach, what are some of the things you want to stress in your secondary? They're top 3 passing team in the SEC with Trey Harris and Watkins. What do you want to see from the secondary and maybe the push up front to back in on that question?
Yeah, and they get the ball deep a bunch of different ways. Whether it be the play action game, the RPO game, and really they do a nice job of the play action game complementing the RPO game. And then getting guys in space and miss tackles. So really the 3 ways they create their explosive plays in the passing game, obviously we're aware of, but everyone's aware of it. It's the ability to go out there and play good sound technique, communicate, and be able to slow those guys down. Look, you're not going to stop every single one, right? That's the goal. The goal is to go out there and stop every single play and be efficient on every play defensively. But understand that's not going to happen in college football. It's not going to happen with these guys. They got a good offense. So ability to play the next play, whether the last one's good or bad, and make the necessary adjustments that we need to make.
Ken?
I know how important playing clean and mistake-free is to you. I'm curious, and I know it's not always necessarily a linear thing, but how do you feel what you're seeing in practice, what you're seeing in games, where you guys are in regards to that?
We're not perfect, so we're not there yet. We've made improvement. In discipline, discipline doesn't just show up in penalties. Discipline, shows up in playing the call, doing your assignment, taking the right pursuit angle, putting your hat on the right side of a block. So discipline comes in all forms. It's not just what shows up on the stat sheet as penalties. Have we improved in the penalty part? Yeah, we've improved, but there's some we can't have. Some in the middle. Combat penalties, those are going to occur. Inevitably, they're going to. We're going to stress them. We're going to work on them. But there's a lot of yardage out there that is to be gained by not having penalties. But the discipline carries over to everything, and it's an everyday process, and or part of the process, an everyday battle to continue to stress it and improve every day. Look, you're either getting better or worse. There's no staying the same, and you're either going to get better or worse at everything you do. So as soon as you don't emphasize something, you're going to get worse. You're not just going to stay the same and hope it works. There's no hope around here. We're not hoping for things to happen. We have to go out every day as coaches and put a plan together and give a plan to the players that they can go out and execute and that they believe in.
Anything in the back?
Coach, you guys, obviously things change year to year, but you did get to see this team in person last year. Obviously, after you watched the first 2 games of their season this year, what can you kind of take from what is a Lane Kiffin, led team, just statistically, hypothetically, just based on how they actually play on the field?
Hypothetically, that's a really great word. Yeah, I can't remember Sunday. You should remember last year. Seriously. Look, I know what I've seen on tape for 2 games. They're explosive. They got a good quarterback. Manages the offense, put the ball where it's supposed to go. They have one of the best running backs in the country. Just statistically, you can't look at statistics, on something. Number 4 is one of the best running backs in the country, and he's going to, they're going to get him loose. You can look and say, oh, well, they're not running the ball. Yeah, right. You ask if I know somebody. Yeah, that's what I know about Lane Kiffin. He's going to run the football, right? He's going to get number 4 going. So we got to be balanced in what we do on defense to make sure that we're able to, cover and defend the explosives. But number 4, you're looking at one of the best running backs in the country, if not the best running back in the country. So you can rest assured he's going to do everything he can to get that guy going this week.
Yes. Kelly?
I was just curious if you had any injury updates. I think Eddie and Chase were the 2 guys that left the game.
Yeah, Eddie's back, full go practice. Chase will be out this week, and then we will continue to see kind of week to week with him, where it ends up. But it's not a season ending by any means.
Right.
On that same subject, I guess it's nice that, knowing that Chase is out, that you have someone like Eric backing him up in the way he's played the first couple of games.
Yeah, we have a lot of receivers that have done a nice job. It was a position I was excited about, really all off season. There was just youth with them, and green to the program and into the offense, and week to week, getting those guys more experience out on the field. Continue to deliver the ball to all of those guys. That becomes the challenge, and that's what you want to do. And I think Buster, over 2 games, did a nice job of spreading the wealth in the receiver room. And they're improving their blocking. You look at I think it was the first play of the second half. Those guys, they're out, they're leading the charge. There was a couple of clips evident in the first game. Those guys are blocking their tails off for each other. We had a couple of plays early in the game last week where they didn't block as well, and they challenged each other. They're blocking for each other. It's a super unselfish group. A lot of guys in that position, they want the ball, especially in the perimeter game. Our guys they're blocking for each other, and when they make a mistake and don't execute a block the way they're supposed to, they're going to come back out the next time and do it. And that's what I've been happy about with those guys, is the unselfishness in that room and the willingness to go out and block for each other.
Coach, what do you think the points on the board, first 2 games, 34 in the first game, almost 50 in the second, what do you think that's done for your offense as a whole, and how are you feeling about the way Buster is calling things and having things, kind of flow the way you want them to?
Yeah, point-wise, statistics, we look at ourselves self-scout wise on what we have to do better. We look at what we're doing well and what we have to continue to improve and continue to do well. But as far as points, hey, look, 2-0's a win, just like 50-0's a win. So a win's a win. Does it help to expand the margin with point differential and explosives? Yeah, I think Buster's done a nice job of that. He's got good command of the offense. He's got good command of what we want to do as a team. He understands the ability to play offensive football in that can complement the other two phases of the team. I think in the first two games we're starting to see a small glimpse of what we can do offensively and how we can be able to be effective.
Coach Key, is there open competition for the place kicking job this week?
Yeah, there's open competition for every position every week. Every position, the best guys are gonna play. I mean, that's the way it is. It's competition always, and who we feel on Saturday is the best one to go out and kick, someone's gonna go kick. Right? Does it mean I don't have confidence in one or the other? No, not at all. I thought it was really good to see the other guy be able to get in there and put two through. And I'm glad the situations came up at the end where we were able to have him out there and have him gain confidence. And Gavin put nine through the end zone on kickoffs. I mean, that's tremendous when you look at field position. So I mean, we've got two guys that can be very capable at their jobs, and what we look for is consistency.
With the tight end position, you have three older guys there, and they seem to kind of just all be sharing the wealth. Would you like to see them more involved in the passing game?
I just want to win. If it can help us win, yeah. That's something that we focused on from the beginning of spring. But sometimes whether it be based on coverage, based on whatever happens, it doesn't take place. I mean, there's been several plays, whether it be kind of intermediate plays or shot plays where it was designed for them and they were covered down. And they were the first option on the play. So, time will come. We'll continue to put the ball to the guys that are open, and we can take advantage of mismatches. And I think they've been unselfish in the fact of what they're doing. I think I think Dylan's blocking his tail off. A lot of times you don't see that. You see a guy maybe doesn't get a ball when he wants one. That's selfish football, and you can only go so far with a group of selfish guys. And I want guys that are completely unselfish and want to win more than they want to have their name in the paper.
Anything else in the back? Okay.
You mentioned for Judkins. Can you describe or assess your front seven's readiness to play really solid run defense?
Yeah, I mean that's what we're working on right now. We had a physical practice today. We'll have another physical practice tomorrow. You can't just hone in on one single person on their offense. They've got multiple playmakers. So yeah, you've got to be able to. If you put 7 guys up there on them, you're gonna be really weak on that back end. So as much floor open as they're running and getting the ball in space. So you have some disadvantages there number wise, but. No, we've got to have balance in what we do defensively, whether it be play static pressure, mix things up, change whether it be change the front, change coverage, whatever it is. I mean, we've got to be able to mix those things up and keep them out of rhythm. As I say to the staff and I say to the team all the time, we always want to be the hammer and not the nail, and whether that be offense, defense, or special teams.
Okay, time for a couple more, Kelly.
I thought two things that kind of stood out to me. You got Omar Daniels, quite a bit of playing time, and he looked good. And then Kyle and Braylon getting some work at linebacker too. Just how important is it to, in those type of games, develop that depth? And do you feel like those guys can maybe have a bigger role? When you have a big lead, how about that? When you're in command.
Well, and the plan was last week was to play them in the game. We can't, excuse me. We can't go with just Trent and Paul and expect those guys to play an entire season. So we are continuing to develop those guys behind him, continuing to build more depth. Dre was a guy that got in as well, and and played really good football when he was in. I think he was 9 for 10. In what his assignments and being around the ball. Those are guys we've got to continue to develop and continue to get on the field. And whether it's the first quarter of game 1 or the first quarter or the fourth quarter of game 12, it doesn't matter. When those guys are ready to continue to contribute, and they got in a situation too where there was a lot of moving parts to really what we were facing on Saturday, and to be able to come and see something different that hadn't been shown. All right, come to the sideline and take those adjustments, take the adjustments, take the corrections as a guy new to the field, really, especially a guy like Kyle. To be able to take those adjustments and take it back out to the field, I thought showed great maturity and growth by those guys. And Omar as well. I mean, KJ is a guy that has a lot of, just by the nature of his position, playing the star. He's got, that's a lot of burn you get there, and playing on teams, and so to continue to develop Omar, who's going to be a really good football player for us.
Brendan, want to wrap this up?
What are the things you like about Haynes King? He's improved in every game, explosive plays, efficiency. What do you like about him going into a road game in a tough environment?
Really, all those things. I mean, I've said, several times, command of the offense, command of the field when he's out there. Not just knowing what he's supposed to do, knowing the other 10 on offense and the 11 on defense. He has big game experience, big game road experience. He's not going to be rattled by any means. And we've got a lot of experience on the offensive side. Normally you go into a on the road environment, and it's this guy's first time. They understand how to operate in those environments, which is a good thing. And then being completion driven. When you're throwing the football, that's big. Being able to, hey, look, no one's going to throw 100% completions every game. And a lot of those are, all right, I'm going to put the ball where either my guy's going to catch it or no one else is. All right, I'm going to put the ball, all right, 1, 2, it's not there. Well, I'm throwing the ball out of bounds, and you're seeing that out of him, and that's very encouraging. All right, you're not taking a sack. You're throwing it. The ball. The first read's not there on a shot. Boom, throw it out of bounds. Just good football, and that goes a long way. I mean, somebody's barreling down, and you're about to take a loss or a sack, and know how to get rid of the football or avoid the rush. So I think all of those things have shown up in the first couple of games. I think we'll only continue to improve with Haynes.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all.